Hello class, nice to see all of you again. If you are watching this video, that means you are healthy and fine. Keep it that way. Okay, today we are going to look at vocabulary and listening. Natural disasters. Okay, natural disasters maksudnya bencana alam. Bencana alam ya. So for this one, wait, let's look at this first. Okay, volcano. The first one, volcano. Not this here. Fire, volcano. Okay, so volcano itu adalah gunung berapi. Okay, gunung berapi. Next one we have earthquake. Earthquake, gempa bumi. Okay, gempa bumi. So here you go. And then avalanche. Avalanche maksudnya salji runtuh. Salji runtuh. Okay, avalanche. Okay, next one we have hurricane. Hurricane itu adalah taufan. Taufan. Nampak ni macam ni lah. Macam puting beliung tapi dia sangat besar. Then we have flood. Flood maksudnya banjir. Banjir. Kita selalunya ada lah. And then we have wildfire. Wildfire ni kebakaran yang biasa berlaku di hutan, ya. And then we have tornado. Tornado maksudnya puting beliung, macam ni. And then we have tsunami. Okay. Ombak yang sangat besar. Landslide, tanah runtuh. So bila pasir ataupun tanah dia bergerak dan ke bawah, dan bila dia bergerak ke bawah, tanah akan runtuh lah. Itu sebab kita panggil tanah runtuh. Okay, and drought. Drought maksudnya musim kering. Yang macam ni, musim kering. Okay, last one we have famine. Okay, famine maksudnya kebuluran. Kebuluran maksudnya makanan tu tak cukup. Banyak orang lapar sampai mati pun ada. So dia macam ni lah, famine. Okay, so that's exercise 1. Exercise 2, listen and check your answer. So this is for this. Okay, so let's look at 1.4.1.
Unit 3.
Storm with very strong wind.
And listening. Natural disasters. Exercise 2.
A hurricane is a storm with very strong wind.
Okay, a hurricane is a storm with very strong wind. So a hurricane, so this one looks like a hurricane. So here you go. Hurricane dia adalah, it's a very strong wind. Dia adalah angin yang sangat kuat that goes around and round. Wait. A hurricane is sini. A hurricane is a storm with very strong wind. So a hurricane ni taufan dengan ribut yang ribut dengan angin yang sangat kuat sekali. Itulah kita panggil a hurricane. This is not a hurricane, this is a tornado. Okay, so the first one has been done for you. So kita tengok number 2.
An avalanche is a large amount of snow which falls down a mountain.
Okay, an avalanche. So this one is avalanche here. Okay, an avalanche is a large amount of snow which falls down a mountain. So dia salji dalam kuantiti yang sangat besar dan dia jatuh dari bukit. So itu kita panggil avalanche.
A wildfire happens in hot weather when an area of forest is very dry.
Okay, number 2, wildfire. Okay, wildfire. So a wildfire happen in hot weather. So dia kata wildfire ni dia berlaku masa cuaca panas. When an area of forest is very dry. So bila ada satu kawasan hutan yang sangat panas, yang sangat kering, dan tempat tu adalah tempat yang berkemungkinan berlakunya wildfire. Okay.
A flood happens when it rains a lot.
Okay, a flood happens when it rains a lot. So number 3, the answer is flood. So di sini dia kata a flood happens banjir dia berlaku when it rains a lot, bila dia banyak hujan. Banyak hujan, bila banyak hujan tu itulah banjir berlaku.
A volcano is a mountain that erupts and releases hot liquid.
Okay, so number 4, volcano. So a volcano is a mountain that erupts. So volcano dia adalah satu gunung yang meletup. Bila dia meletup and release hot liquid, dan dia mengeluarkan cecair panas. Okay, number 5.
An earthquake makes the ground move.
Okay, and let me check. Is it still recording? Okay, an earthquake makes the ground move. So number 5, earthquake. So maksudnya gempa bumi ni dia menjadikan tanah kita tu bergerak, lantai ataupun tanah kita tu bergerak.
A tsunami is a very big sea wave.
Okay, so tsunami, number 6. A tsunami is a very big sea wave. So dia katanya tsunami ini adalah ombak laut yang sangat besar. Dia macam ombak, cuma dia sangat besar. Number 7.
A drought happens when there isn't enough rain.
Okay, number 7, drought. The drought happen when there isn't enough rain. So dia kata musim kering ni berlaku bila tidak ada hujan yang cukup. Okay, last one.
A tornado is a very strong wind that goes round and round.
Okay, so yang tadi hurricane tu dia ribut dengan angin yang kuat kan. So puting beliung ni dia biasa dia berpusing. So it's a very strong wind. So dia kata tornado ni dia adalah sejenis angin yang kuat that goes round and round, dan dia bergerak dalam pusingan. Okay, so that's for exercise number 2. Okay, what do you know about natural disasters? Look at the quiz. Are the sentences true or false? So you have to listen to this. Okay, 1.42. Listen to a TV program about natural disasters and check your answers to exercise 3. Okay.
Unit 3. Vocabulary and listening. A TV.
Welcome to Mysteries of the Earth. This week we're talking about natural disasters.
So dia kata kita akan bercakap tentang natural disaster, bencana alam semula jadi.
Did you know that there are some areas of the world where more natural disasters happen than others?
So dia kata, adakah anda tahu di sesetengah bahagian dunia ini berlakunya lebih banyak bencana alam daripada bahagian dunia yang lain.
For example, 75% of volcanoes are in the countries on the Pacific Ocean.
So dia kata 75% gunung berapi ni biasa ada di Pacific Ocean ataupun negara-negara yang dekat dengan Pacific Ocean, lautan Pasifik. So most of the world's volcanoes are in Europe. No, not really. Okay, not really. Not Europe. Europe tu Eropah. Eropah tu dia taklah dekat dengan so kita tengok ini Ring of Fire. So kalau you tengok ini this picture, so this is America, okay, benua Amerika, so Malaysia, Asia semua dekat sini, dan yang merah-merah, oren-oren ini adalah Ring of Fire. So di Ring of Fire ini berlakunya terdapat banyak volcano, gunung berapi. Okay, kalau you nampak dia ada banyak line hitam kan, dia macam petak-petak yang berlainan bercantum kan. So petak-petak ni bila dia bercantum, dia mesti ada sikit-sikit ruang, dan dia ada bergeser. Bila dia bergeser, lava yang di bawah dia tu ditolak keluar. So itulah masanya volcano dia erupt. So lava tu pun keluar. Okay, next.
Like Japan.
Japan, negara Asia lah, not Europe.
And New Zealand.
And New Zealand, that is
Most
New
of
Zealand.
the world's big earthquakes also happen here. And the USA has more tornadoes than and New Zealand. Most of the world's big earthquakes also happen here. And the USA has more tornadoes than any other country, over 1,000 a year.
So dia kata di USA puratanya lebih daripada 1,000 tornadoes berlaku. Tornadoes ni seperti yang kita kata tadi, puting beliung. So for number 1 the answer is false. Number 2 true.
Some natural disasters happen more often.
Okay, kita tengok ya. Number 3, an earthquake happens somewhere in the world every 30 seconds. Setiap 30 saat ada earthquake yang berlaku.
Than you think. For example, there's actually one earthquake every 30 seconds somewhere in the world.
So setiap 30 saat mesti ada satu tempat di dunia ini yang berlakunya earthquake. So the answer for number 3 is also true. Okay, so for number 4, landslide can happen because of wildfire. So dia kata tanah runtuh boleh berlaku sebab kebakaran. So let's listen.
That's 2 a minute. However, most of these earthquakes are so small that we can't feel them.
So dia kata earthquake ni, sebab biasa earthquake ni dia kecil sangat sampailah kita tak boleh rasa pun. Walaupun ada earthquake kita tak boleh rasa.
Unfortunately, sometimes one disaster can cause another one. For example, a tsunami sometimes happens after there is an earthquake in the middle of the sea.
Okay, so dia kata kalau ada earthquake in the middle of the sea, di tengah-tengah lautan, ia akan mengakibatkan tsunami. So, which 2 kind of disaster often happen near the Pacific Ocean? Oh, okay.
And a wildfire on a mountain can sometimes cause a landslide.
A wildfire can cause a landslide. Sebab kenapa? So the answer for number 4 is true. So betul lah, kebakaran akan mengakibatkan tanah runtuh sebab api tu dia membakar pokok ataupun tumbuh-tumbuhan. So bila tak ada pokok, tak ada tumbuh-tumbuhan, dia tak ada akar untuk mencengkam tanah. Bila tak ada cengkaman, tanah dia akan mula mengalir ke bawah. So itulah masanya landslide berlaku. Okay, so listen to a TV program. Exercise 4. Write 3 sentences about a disaster that happened in your country. Use word from the exercises. Okay, about a disaster. So so in Malaysia we have flood, banjir. So we usually have flood at the end of the year, especially the monsoon season. So bila sampainya musim monsoon, dia musim tengkujuh lah kita panggil. So dia ada hujan akan menjadi banyak dan masa itulah banjir berlaku. So the east coast of the peninsula Malaysia, pantai timur, will usually experience more rain. Dia akan mengalami banyak hujan. Okay. People have to orang-orang di situ bila berlakunya banjir, apa yang orang-orang di situ kena buat? So have to evacuate, maksudnya kena berpindah lah. Evacuate maksudnya ni melarikan diri ataupun berpindah, berhijrah pun boleh daripada tempat yang bahaya ke tempat yang selamat. We have to evacuate to safer places. Okay, then exercise 5 is 2. Exercise 3, so exercise 6, listen and answer the question. So number 1, which 2 kinds of disaster often happen near the Pacific Ocean? So kita kena cari 2 disaster, 2 bencana yang berlaku dekat dengan Pacific Ocean. Why don't we always feel earthquakes? So kenapa kita tak rasa earthquake? Kenapa kita bukan selalunya boleh rasa earthquake, gempa bumi itu? Where do some tsunami start? Di manakah sesetengah tsunami bermula? What can stop a landslide? Apakah yang boleh menghalang tanah runtuh? What do birds sometimes do before disaster? Apakah yang burung biasanya buat sebelum satu bencana berlaku? So let's listen to this again.
Did you know that there are some areas of the world where more natural disasters happen than others? For example, 75% of volcanoes are in the countries on the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, volcanoes. We have first one, volcanoes.
Like Japan and New Zealand. Most of the world's big earthquakes also happen here.
Oh, most of the world's earthquake also. So di mana ada kat Pacific Ring tu. So seperti yang saya explain tadi, sebab dia punya tanah tu dia bergeser, so kita ada volcanoes. Which two kinds of disaster? Volcanoes, eruption. Bukan, you tak boleh tulis volcano saja. Volcano eruption. Eruption maksudnya letupan. Okay, volcano eruption and earthquake. Okay, tanah bergeser kan. So itu adalah earthquake, dan lava yang di bawah tu bila dia bergeser dia ditolak keluar kan. So that's volcano eruptions. So the second one is, why don't we always feel earthquake?
And the USA has more tornadoes than... For example, there's actually one earthquake every 30 seconds somewhere in the world. That's 2 a minute. However, most of these earthquakes are so small that we can't feel them.
Okay, so dia kata earthquake ni, kebanyakan earthquake ni sangat kecil. Okay, most of them are so small that we can't feel them. So kebanyakan daripada mereka terlalu kecil sampailah kita tak boleh rasa. So where do some tsunami start?
Unfortunately, sometimes one disaster can cause another one. For example, a tsunami sometimes happens after there is an earthquake in the middle of the sea.
Okay, after there's an earthquake in the middle of the sea. So some tsunami starts. Some tsunamis, you kena tambah S because there are more than one, starts after there is an earthquake in the middle of the sea. So sesetengah tsunami bermula selepas there is an earthquake. So selepas adanya gempa bumi in the middle of the sea, di tengah-tengah laut. Number 4. What can stop a landslide? Apakah yang boleh menghalang tanah runtuh?
And a wildfire on a mountain can sometimes cause a landslide. We know that trees can stop landslides happening. That's because trees help to keep the earth in place.
Okay, trees can stop landslide. Pokok boleh menghalang landslide. So the next one is, what do birds sometimes do before disaster?
But when there aren't any trees, the earth can move more easily.
So dia kata pokok ni dia membantu untuk mencengkam tanah. Bila tak ada akar untuk mencengkam tanah, so tanah tu boleh bergerak lebih bebas. Itulah masanya landslide berlaku.
And it can come crashing down onto a town or city.
So dia kata tanah runtuh ni mungkin akan kena bandar.
Big problem with many natural disasters is that nobody knows when they will happen.
So dia kata masalah yang sangat besar tentang bencana alam ini adalah tak ada orang tahu bila dia berlaku.
However, some people believe that animals can feel when a disaster is about to occur.
So dia kata tapi ada orang percaya yang binatang dia boleh tahu bila sebelum bencana itu berlaku.
There are many stories about animals behaving unusually just before a volcano or an earthquake.
So dia kata sebelum berlakunya bencana seperti gunung berapi ataupun gempa bumi, banyak haiwan dia akan berkelakuan ganjil.
Dogs cry.
Dogs cry. Cry dia bukan menangis. Cry ni maksudnya dia menjerit kuat-kuat. Bila anjing cry maksudnya dia menyalak dengan kuat.
Birds stop singing.
Birds stop singing. Burung berhenti menyanyi. For example lah, contoh.
Why does this happen? Who knows?
So dia kata kenapa ini berlaku? Tak ada
Maybe
orang
they
tahu.
have a special ability which human beings don't have.
So mungkin mereka ada kemampuan yang luar biasa yang manusia tak ada.
To understand how nature works.
Di mana kemampuan ni membolehkan mereka untuk tahu macam mana alam semula jadi ni beroperasi. Okay, so what do birds sometimes do before a disaster? They stop singing. Mereka berhenti menyanyi. So, that's the answer for all these exercises. If you have any questions, please ask me in the WhatsApp group. If there's none, then I'll see you next week. Okay, take care. Bye.